Okay, call the meeting to order. So, it's February 12th, Tuesday, and this is the regular council meeting. The vision of the Village of Valemount is striving for a vibrant and balanced community. And our mission is to serve the community and embrace opportunity. So with that, I'd like to adopt the agenda, noting the 2 extra items that we have.
Your Worship, we actually have 3 others. One is the Northern Health request, correspondence regarding nurse practitioners. One is the Healthier Communities Walk Around the World notice. And one is the Order of British Columbia call for nominations.
Okay, great. And we'll put those 3 things, where should we place them on the agenda?
In new business, please.
Put them in new business. Okay. Which is, sorry, the new agenda.
17.
There it is, 17.
16.
3 items. 16. Okay, great. So we'll just make sure that we deal with those and not overlook them. Excellent. Does anybody want to move the adoption of the agenda? Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Latimer, all in favor? Great. Adoption of the previous minutes. There's 4 sets of minutes. The first is the minutes from the January 22nd, just regular council meeting. Any changes or additions, deletions in the minutes? Councillor Salt?
The minutes of the special meeting that's noticed.
We're just dealing with the first item.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Or I'll just ask the Deputy Corporate Officer, do we receive them as a whole or
No, they should be for
independently?
independent.
Yeah, makes sense.
I
Okay,
believe.
so for the regular council meeting,
I don't know actually.
Okay.
That's a bulk.
Councillor Salt, Councillor Latimer, all in favor of adopting the minutes as presented? Okay. Then we have the minutes of the January 29 special meeting, pages 6 and 7. Councillor Salt?
Councillor Latimer wasn't present at that meeting.
Okay, fair enough.
And just a note also under call to order, it should say Mayor McCracken called the meeting to order.
Perfect. Noted by the Deputy Corporate Officer. Seconder for the amendments and adoption. Councillor Blanchette, all in favor? Okay, great. February 5th, 2013 special meeting, pages 8 and 9 are the minutes for that one. Councillor Salt.
Correction, that meeting actually was Monday, February 4th, not Tuesday, February 5th.
Okay,
And again, call to order should have been Mayor McCracken.
okay. With the changes? Councillor Blanchette. All in favor? Great. And then the committee of the whole on February 7th. Councillor Salt?
Call to order again, Mayor McCracken. I know this is a new system, so there's just going to be some glitches to work out.
Okay, no worries. Great, we'll get it right. And seconder, Councillor Latimer. All in favor? Great. Okay, so that's great. So just the public will note that anytime council gets together, we document that. For whatever reason we get together, we make sure that there's a record. Some of those items, of course, just by nature, will be in camera. What you'll see later today is actually in an effort to be really transparent about when we have to go in camera. So we're actually working up a policy of when that stuff goes from in camera to public, when is it? So say there's a land deal or something happening, when that deal is closed, when the land is sold or not sold or the opportunity's passed, then that information can come to light. And we just feel that's a good way of operating. But council will debate that later on. So I see we have an item on my notes here, amendment Northern Health Practitioner. Does everybody else have that on their agenda? Item 4? Okay, so let's deal with that one right now then. We don't have a recommendation from staff, but I'll set this up. Ultimately, Debbie Strang, the Health Services Administrator, here. Do you have that in?
I don't. That's where I apologize. I'm not sure about that. Can you pass that to Ann for a second?
Do I have a
So,
free copy?
I'm not sure.
I believe
because
the
my
printed
copy
version you
doesn't-
have is a draft from last week. So what we should actually do is discuss Northern Health in new business under item number 16. That's okay.
Gotcha. Perfect. Let's all get on the same page. Okay, so we won't handle that one right now. We'll first go to delegations, and we have no delegations lined up for this evening. Moving into unfinished business. The first item is NCLGA. Councillor Salt had requested a little bit of extra time to see if we wanted to submit any resolutions for debate at NCLGA at their AGM. Anything?
I didn't come up with anything
Okay.
urgent at this time.
Excellent. Okay. So no action on that item. We'll just proceed to the next one. Do we need to receive that or?
Yeah, if we actually could have a motion and a second or two to go with the staff recommendation.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Salt, Councillor Latimer, all in favor? Okay. So the next item, Varda, there's a request for a letter of support for a new shelter in the Clemina Creek recreational area. Previous resolution, council passed the following resolution. That consideration of whether or not council would support a new shelter in the Clemina Creek recreation area be postponed until February 12, 2013 council meeting, and that Curtis Polyak, general manager of Varda, be invited by staff to address council at that meeting. We have no recommendation on this item. So council, I'll just ask what your wish is.
I'd like to support a letter of recommendation to Varda for the cabin to be built.
Okay, so we'll just take that as first movement. Okay, Councillor Salt. All right, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Great. Okay. Correspondence for action. The Valemount Elementary School PAC is seeking funds for an iPad for a fundraiser for a field trip. Staff's recommendation is that council approve the donation of $200 for the purchase of an iPad 3 to raffle to raise funds for the grade 6 class field trip to Victoria.
Do we still have fund in that, or money in that fund?
Yes, it's a new year.
Okay.
The policy is being updated to add more to it, but right now there's $1,000 in it.
Okay. I'd make a motion that we give the kids the money.
I'll second it.
Yes, okay. No shortage of hands. All in favor? Okay, here we go. Well, it's great that that $200 will go to the benefit of a whole group of kids, eh? So,
I thought there was success from it last year.
right on. And it's good to hear about that. The next correspondence item we have is a contentious one and takes up 20 or so pages in our council agenda. It's from Patricia Dunn, and it's regarding high local fuel prices. And we have okay, so I want to do this. What we're hoping to do with our motions, just for the benefit of council, is move and second them, just to get them on the floor to discuss, just to follow Robert's Rules of Order. So I would ask for a mover and a seconder on this, if that's possible.
To receive?
Yeah.
Sure.
Councillor Salt, all in favor? Or not all in favor? We'll just hold it there and now we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
And now I'll defer to staff to just speak to this one.
All right, for an update, I think Trish Dunn has done a great deal of work in collecting all this information, in bringing it to the village office. The first time it was brought forward, there was no ask with it, so we suggested that she take that away and provide a cover letter with an ask. In the meantime, we've contacted the Vanderbilks, who are the managers of the Petrocan, several times, and they've worked very hard with their owners to reduce the gas prices. Of note, perhaps, is that they haven't been contacted personally by anyone else in the village. But they've worked with the owners to reduce the gas prices. They're down about 12 cents from what they were earlier. And the feeling is that that's probably as low as they will go at this point.
Okay. Just a couple things to add to that. I did have Patricia Dunn was in earlier, but it's her birthday, so she couldn't stay. But we had a conversation. I actually brought forward this idea that it's, you collect this petition, but you haven't given it to the gas station. So what's that? That's kind of a thing. Anyway, she was saying that initially the managers of the Petro-Can were a part of the Facebook discussion that got that and said, like, look, we really don't have control. It's sort of the owners that do this. And so they did hunt that around a little bit. So I just thought I better report that out from my discussion with Trish Dunn in advance. But I appreciate that, and I appreciate that. Would you say, in your opinion, that the reduction of fuel prices was a result of this community action?
It likely was.
And what is the village's role in that action?
In the result of that action?
Well, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm leading you on. My op-ed comment here is that citizens can take action, take it directly to the source, take it to the right people, and get stuff done. Mm-hmm. But as for a village, the people that try to do all of these things that we have, right? Like clear the streets, and by gosh, don't get any on my driveway as you go past. Keep the water going, keep the sewer going, and keep the village in good repair. I mean, we've got a lot on our plates. So it's nice when this sort of stuff lines up, people get active, and they do this. It's not that the village is in charge of everything that happens at Valemount. So it's nice to see that citizen action. And just for the record, this was the reason that the gas prices are lower is not because it came to this meeting. It happened well before this meeting. It's because people got together and got organized. That would be my little comment. And as a way, and my goal here is to shift the focus away from the village doing everything, being responsible for everything, that being the local authority, come to us and we'll get your problem solved. That's not how it's going to work. At least I hope that's not it. We encourage people to take the right courses of action. So we have a motion on the floor that the village does not take action to reduce fuel prices within Valemount.
Can I just clarify? Because the motion was just to receive. There's been no...
Sure.
Is that your motion?
Oh, okay.
So just, may I jump in as corporate officer?
Yeah.
So Council rightly didn't put forward staff recommendation and just put them forward a motion to receive, and that's fine. So that can be carried as is, or you could put forward to amend the motion to include the staff recommendation.
Okay. Well, we have a motion to receive. Let's just vote on that.
Yeah.
Vote receipt?
Yep.
Okay, great. There's a staff recommendation here. I'll move that recommendation, that the village does not take action to reduce fuel prices within Valemount. Is there a seconder?
Sure.
Okay. Councillor Blanchette. And discussion.
Well, just hat goes off to the community to for getting together and making it happen. I know it didn't go down into the 90s like Alberta, but at least it's 12 cents lower than it was before.
Amen.
Nice work.
This is almost a chamber issue, having to do with businesses. So in future, maybe the community should think about the chamber helping businesses.
Great. Excellent. That's right. It's nice that we don't all do each other's work, that we sort of, that'd be nice to get into that habit. See, where does it go? Okay, so all in favor of the recommendation? Great. Whew. This is contentious stuff here. Okay, into the reading file. Anything that you guys wanted to pull out of the reading file? And if not, okay.
Just motion to receive then.
Motion to
I'll
receive?
make a motion to receive the reading file.
Okay, and seconded by Councillor Salt. All in favor? Okay, great. The administrator reports. I've got a note here on the machine about this one. There's a staff recommendation that council approves staff to apply for an NDIT, that's Northern Development Initiative Trust, internship grant to host an intern in partnership with McBride for 1 year. And if McBride is unable to participate in this opportunity, council approves staff to apply for the NDIT internship grant to host an intern for a full year in Valemount. I'll move the motion. Can I get a seconder? Okay, Councillor Bullock. And discussion. Councillor Bullock.
Has there been any more developments as far as McBride in collaboration since this has gone, the agenda's been assembled?
No, this is going to their council meeting tonight.
Ah, good, okay,
We have similar resolutions.
sure. And so if for some reason it doesn't work for McBride, which fund would that money come from? Or which part of the budget does that come from?
We would have to take it out of general.
Just general.
And is that something, excuse me, is that something that could be factored into this year's budget? We would have time to put that item in, yeah, okay.
And we have room in the budget for that.
And I'll just get the administrator to speak about what the sort of the cost return is. This is actually a pretty generous program offered by NDIT.
Indeed it is. When they fund 3/4 of the annual salary for an employee and we get that quality of work, that's an exceptional offer that's hard to turn down. We have a lot of work that we need to do and it would be really great to be able to allocate resources to that, whereas right now staff is really busy working on daily stuff and trying to focus on strategic things, and there's so many things that just end up on the side of the desk.
In the full agenda, there's a massive list of things that these people could work on. I mean, there's like 14 items on it or something like that, and they're all pretty huge. So that's great, in my opinion.
So how would that work then? Would we pay $5,000 and McBride pay $5,000?
If we were to split that cost, yes.
And then we have them for 6 months.
It also seems to tie in quite nicely with the community tourism meeting that we just had, with having more collaboration between McBride and Valemount, or the entire regional district. I think it's a great opportunity to have somebody well-versed in both communities helping with both villages. Great.
Yeah. It's not that it's, in my opinion, getting a worker for 1/4 of the price is not something we would. It's nice that staff has just found this is a pretty low-cost opportunity to meet McBride halfway on an opportunity they may not get otherwise, because they have a different sort of a tighter fiscal reality there. So it's attainable, and it has the opportunity to bring the communities closer together. So, Councillor Saltz.
So if McBride doesn't do it, then is our portion raised up to $10,000?
That's correct.
That would be for a full year then, instead of just
That's
6 months.
correct. And the list of tasks could increase quite easily.
Good. Any more discussion? So we actually have this recommendation that we participate with McBride, or if they're unable to, we go it on our own. That's the recommendation. It's got a seconder.
I just have a question. When's the deadline for the application? Yeah.
Before the next council meeting, I want to say about the 20th, but I'm just off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah.
Just for more information, I'm going to an NDIT meeting on Friday in Prince George, where they're going to be discussing all these asks from the different communities. NDIT is taking a different approach this year, where they're pooling the funds and potentially providing a potentially larger pool to draw from for communities. So we'll be discussing these asks, and they'll be formulating their grants to try to meet those needs.
Okay. So just back to focusing with the recommendation on the floor. We'll take a vote. All in favor? Okay. Good. Excellent. Okay. I am on the wrong page now.
Yes, go ahead.
Got it all under control. Good thing this thing isn't taped. It'd be so embarrassing. Okay, 8.2, water metering assessment, pages 76 to 96. So, staff recommendation, let's get this on the floor. Does anybody want to put this on the floor? Councillor Salt? Just read it, just if you wouldn't mind.
That council approve the Valemount water metering assessment as presented and approve staff to work with CBT on a water metering assessment follow-up.
Okay,
Second.
great. Okay. Discussion.
Well, it was a pretty interesting read as far as what the cost would be to implement these things and the returnables on it. Didn't strike me as obtainable at this point in time for us looking after it 100%. That's what I took from it.
Yeah.
But I guess once we have the document finished, where we can apply for things in the future, that will open doors.
Okay. My sense was, I mean, the idea, so in this document, this is, the full council agendas are available totally online, but I see that 2 reporters and Zach has access to computers, so I'm going to assume that people aren't fully versed. But the water metering assessment is there in its complete form. The idea is to assess Valemount and see whether we would profit from having water meters or not. And the studies show if we have to pay for all of it, it doesn't pay back for 26 years. If we pay for none of it, we show savings this year. We would save a tremendous amount of money this year in water savings, in treatment savings, in power savings, in savings from operating the sewer. And we anticipate from, so what having water meters allows you to drill down and find out where you're losing water from the system. You don't have to pay to process that water if you're not leaking it into the ground. At any rate, what this recommendation is asking for is not for council to make a move with that, rather than to approve the water metering assessments presented, approve this report, and allow staff to follow up. So the motion's on the floor. A further discussion, council?
Is there a possibility of partnerships with CBT on water meters? I can't remember when this was all initiated.
Yes, there's actually partnerships, opportunities to partner with other communities, but we're a little bit ahead of other communities, and so we may be wise to wait a year or until there are more communities in our position.
Hence part of the follow-up work with CBT that did. I mean, we certainly shouldn't just jump all over this right now.
No.
We're in no position to, but
For sure.
if we can benefit by waiting and working in collaboration with other communities and other partnerships.
One of the nice things that the report shows very clearly, though, is if we were to get fully funded from other jurisdictions, if we got matching funds from, say, the province and the feds and CBT magically, fiscally, it would be the right thing to do. Whether we could sell it to the public, I'm not sure. I wish I wore my tie tonight. Okay, so I guess we're just basically we're saying we're accepting this report and asking staff to follow up. Further discussion, or we'll take a vote on it. Okay, all in favor? Great. Okay, we're rocking through this thing. 25 minutes so far. 8.3, iCompass implementation, new agenda, minutes template, and council proceeding protocol. Council proceeding protocol. Okay, so there's an implementation report on iCompass, which will affect the way, in some ways, the way that we hold our meetings. And I'm just going to get to that. So, a motion to get this on the floor.
Yep.
Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Bullock. Okay, and comments?
Good work. To use our new tool.
Okay, it might be an appropriate time for any concerns or...
It's easier, faster.
Great.
Good.
I think we talked about this right after we got in office. This came up just kind of in a casual conversation. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get to my full thing to go through.
Did you want to just...
Yeah, if I can cheat off yours, would be great.
Okay, and then there's on the back side, there's the...
Yeah. So this would slightly modify the way that we do business. I think we sometimes do business this way, but it would modify it a little bit. So one of the items was, and I heard comments about this before council, and I'd love to tease them out right now, I think it'd be totally appropriate, was removal of general correspondence. So
Yeah, just to separate the info from the reading file, because
and you felt it was valuable to have.
just personally myself, I like to know what I really need to should read rather than, well, you know, it can wait until next week or something. Just myself.
Yeah. And
Okay, sure, would you like to speak to that?
yeah, for sure.
There's a number of reasons why we are experimenting with merging general correspondence with reading file. First, and I actually neglected to put it in the cover note, and I apologize for that, is the reading file has traditionally been put on the server for council to access, but we don't actually, because it can be lengthy, we don't actually put it on the screen or online.
Right.
And that's problematic because the entire agenda should be made public. And so when we have a component like the reading file that can be brought forward for discussion and then a motion and a resolution, and it's not been made public beforehand, it's not really fair to the public for us to speak to it. So that's one of the reasons. The second reason for the merging is it creates a gray area for myself and other staff in deciding if a file should be in general correspondence or the reading file, and we'd honestly like to put that to you. To you have to have the authority if something should be brought forward that doesn't need immediate decision, if it should be discussed, and instead of us making that call, because that's a great thing for council to be doing. And then the last thing is when we actually implement iCompass, the software makes it a lot easier to physically build the agenda packages, and no longer do we have to have a massive PDF. So we can link to 5 or 6 more files if we need to real easily with iCompass software, and it won't be a burden on staff time to build the agendas. Mm-hmm. So for those 3 reasons, that's why we were experimenting with it.
Which makes sense.
Great. Yep. And great. I mean, it's a really good report. I recommend people read it online.
Is there any key items that you wanted to flag?
Yeah, I suppose one of the items is I really value our time together as a council and the discussion that we have. And when we get deep into discussion, I appreciate that, and I think that the public appreciates that. I appreciate the little preference that we do about what it is that we're talking about, so people are generally in the know. And then I appreciate the fulsome debate. So one of the things that I see in amending the rules and following Robert's rules more closely is I certainly don't want it to shut down any debate or have it be a barrier to us. So I appreciate sometimes that specifically towards the end of meetings, people tend to just speak out. I think that's totally appropriate if it's kind. So anyways, that's just my thing. I do appreciate that we are not in a quasi-legal forum here, but in actually a legal forum that's binding. So we need to follow the rules. At the same time, I just want to say that I appreciate our back and forth.
Could I make a couple clarifications for the benefit of the public and not so much for council?
Sure. Okay.
This is more for the media present who might be using the agendas and the minutes. We're experimenting with moved and second the names of the councillors or the mayor who put forward a motion in a second, because it's not a legal necessity, and it's better. Basically, council can appear and they are acting as a whole when there is a resolution. It's a council-wide decision, so there is little meaning placed on a motioner and a seconder, and that's actually what certified parliamentarians down in Victoria recommend, is not to actually record that. So in this minutes that come forward, there won't be a motion and a seconder. But what there will be, or there may be I should say, is we're also looking at exploring with a mechanism to bring forward items from in camera to the public domain. So as you know, at a certain time at every meeting, we go in camera, discuss things privately. But we haven't had a mechanism in the past for saying, okay, this item can now be brought forward. For example, the posting of a contract to hire a new employee, which we recently did. And so what we'll be doing at the end of it, every in camera, where the public's not present, is we'll be making a motion for what items can be brought forward into the public domain, and then we'll bring that into the public minutes. So when you look at the minutes now of the regular council meeting, the second to last item before adjournment will actually have any item brought forward, or may have. It won't always be the case, but there'll be select times when we can bring something forward.
Yeah.
So those are the only two things for the public benefit that I would highlight.
Yeah. And I'd just like to clarify too, when we move and second things, we have yet to have fulsome debate. And the idea is you move and second something to talk about them. So if we have a great debate and we change our minds on it, by all means, we're allowed to vote against that. And so there's this old myth that if you move it or if you second it, you can't vote against it. That's wrong and inappropriate. Obviously, we have discussion, you come here to talk and think, and if we come up away with another understanding of it, so much the better. So, motion's on the floor. If there's any more discussion, seeing none, all in favor? Great. Okay, we've got a fulsome Economic Development Officer report. I see the time is 8:32, so I'm hesitant to go through the whole thing. So this is for information purposes. I'll move it. Get a seconder. And I won't even name them. Okay, and comments?
Great work.
Yeah.
He's been busy.
Maybe inappropriately, I'll ask Zachary, do you have the EDO's report up on? I'll see if you can get it.
Page 101.
It's on page 101.
Glad to see the Integrated Community Sustainability Plan come to an end after all the work that went into it from last year.
Absolutely. Yeah, kudos to all the people that were involved and spent countless hours. And we hope that we know we're going to make their work count.
Oh, we
as council.
have a great tool from that.
The other thing is I noticed there's a lot of people are looking forward to hiking again on the Bigfoot Trail. There's lots more work to be done on that, so that's kind of exciting. Signs and everything else. Okay, but we won't go full bore into this, or anything else anybody wanted to raise from that report?
Yeah.
Oh,
The Kim Basket Reservoir Impacts and Future Opportunities business case. Just want to say congratulations to Owen Torgerson and Jared Smith. They're two great candidates to work on that for our village. It's exciting.
yeah, it really is. Owen's pretty pumped.
Good.
he's
passionate
got the
people.
right. He's got the right
Yeah,
line of work
That's
there.
what you want, though.
History buff, for sure. Okay, so if there's nothing else, let's move to accept. Report, great. Okay, moving on to the Public Works report.
Make a motion to receive it.
Okay,
I'll second.
great. All in favor? Okay. Just yell if there's stuff to put in. Okay, no bylaw, no building inspector, no bylaw officer report. That's all too clear. I'm glad it's in here. Reminds us of the good old days. We're moving on to the financial report. Here it is, all the down and dirty. We've got the accounts payable monthly. If you want to do the Watergate analysis, this is where you do it. Who we're paying and why. Motion to accept this for information. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Bullock. All in favor? Okay, and that brings us to council reports. Okay, and let's start with Councillor Bullock.
Oh, great. Back in January, the ICSP presentation with Dan Wilson, again to go over that tool that we came to. It's fantastic. The 31st, I was for the community tourism meeting with McBride and the regional district. Another awesome collaboration to see how we can work together. The 4th, the Valemount Community Forest meeting and a Bigfoot Trail meeting. The 5th was the Tourism Valemount meeting. The 7th, the Committee of the Whole, the governance refresher. And then today's today.
Great. Thanks for all your work. Councillor Saul.
I attended a Valemount Public Library Expansion Committee meeting, the ICSP presentation, then also a special in-camera council meeting. Let's see, then, what is it telling? Also a special in-camera council meeting on the 4th. Trans-Canada Light Highway Association 2014 bid meeting. And there's also another one that day. Sorry, nothing that day. And then the 7th, the governance refresher, which was really good and very informative and also just a reminder to some things.
That's right.
I had a policy review meeting and a CBT proposal writing workshop for this year's candidates for
Excellent.
the community initiative funding. And that was it. We have today's meeting.
Great.
That's it.
Thank you, Councillor Saul. Councillor Latimer.
Okay. I too attended the ICSP proposal, the presentation, tourism meeting here and in McBride, and the in-camera meeting on February the 4th, and then the governance refresher on February the 7th. That's all. And then today again.
Great. Thanks.
January 24th was a meeting with Northern Health to get our initiative off the ground. The 28th was a library expansion meeting, so we're still searching for stuff for there. 29th was the ICSP. The 4th was an in-camera plus a Bigfoot meeting. The 7th was a meeting with Silvio, the governance refresher, which was nice. I also had a Northern Health meeting that day, policy meeting, and then I attended the CBT info session, which was really good. I was supposed to have a meeting today, it got canceled, and here we are today.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate how short everybody's reports are. But I also think I'd like to see, from each of these meetings, if council bring back one or two points from that meeting that, something that Valemount was facing, I think that'd be good. And then they got a sense that we're engaged. We know we go to meetings. I know you guys go to meetings. We send you to all sorts of meetings. But we also know that you're getting a great understanding of the town and the issues that faces it, and it'd be nice to see that. Just, in point form, what some of those are. I have a couple new things to bring up. Thorny issues. I was in the IGA, and a fellow approached me and said, hey, how come the municipal government doesn't recognize people who've done great things in our community? Specifically, what we call acts of heroism. There is some people saved a life out of the Barina.
They did get acknowledged for it. Did you see the paper?
But from us.
Oh, okay, I see. Sorry.
No, they've been decorated by the federal government. They've been decorated by the provincial government. They've been danced and sung about. So is there an opportunity for Valemount to recognize these people? And I would actually suggest that we could do something. And I just wonder if there's any appetite for us to do something like that. I wouldn't want to do what the feds or the province do, but I think we could do something that sort of celebrates the fact that these people live here, do something locally, and say thanks. So is it okay, can I make a resolution happen? out of my council report? Of course I can. I'm the boss.
You do know you can't amend an agenda after you.
But this is arising out of my report. Oh, Roberts and your rules. Okay. At any rate, we'll bring that forward to the next council meeting.
That would be best, yeah.
Okay. Wow, jeez. Okay. Was that like 6 against 1? Jeez, guys, thanks for the support. Okay. And I've got some ideas how to do that. So maybe I'll prepare, I'll put those down on paper and then I'll bring it back. Would that be?
That's the
that'd probably
best.
be.
Would be best.
Because nobody told me that before the meeting. Okay. Right. I just wanted to say, Council had the opportunity to sit together for a governance refresher, and it's just sort of an idea of, again, refocusing on how we act and work as a council. It's really confusing because we have a responsibility to bring community concerns to council, but we also have a responsibility not to put those concerns of whoever it is above the community as a whole. So it's nice to go over that, and it's nice to get together as a group and just focus again and say, what is it that we're doing here, and how are we effective? And I really want to thank staff for facilitating that and council for making that happen. I appreciate it. We're all really busy. Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, because I was shut down on my resolution, I'm going to shorten my report as punishment to you all. Okay, so motion to receive the reports? Okay, great. All in favor? Super. Okay, moving along. We've got 3 items under new business, which we will talk about in stride. Let's start with the opportunity to apply for nurse practitioners. Health Service Administrator Debbie Strang has asked us for a letter of support showing that we would like to do this. And we support it. I'll move it. Anybody?
I'll second it.
Yeah. Thoughts, concerns?
It's fabulous, we need it.
Excellent.
Let's go for it.
We've benefited from it in the past, and we would do nothing but benefit from it in the future.
I have something to add that's totally inappropriate. There's some person in the valley that's training to be a nurse practitioner. It would be so great if that person was able to get the job.
Sure it would. I second that too.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. We shouldn't interfere with that. But let's send a letter of support.
Yep.
Okay. All in favor? Great. Okay. The Honors and Awards Secretariat have
About the healthier community.
healthier communities. We'll do that one.
I just had a comment about the letter of support. There is a time, I believe it's the February 28th.
Okay, so we'll just make sure that.
Yeah, just if the letter could go.
Is staff comfortable? They know, you know what to say? Okay, so that's great. And let's move on to Healthier Communities Committee.
So this is exciting. As I'm the Northern Health Liaison, we had different areas that we have to attack. And so we're doing, the first one we're attacking is health. So we're doing a walk around the world, which is just over 65 million steps to do. So it's a long-term project. March 4th, we're going to be holding a meeting for anybody that wants to be involved in the committee to help set up, organize, take notes, do that kind of stuff. We're really, really excited about it. Everything's coming together really well. We got given the grant for it, so we're good to go. We just have to figure out what's the best date to start. And we're just looking for the village to be a partner and support us, and that's it.
And will you be utilizing the Bigfoot Trail for that?
Yes.
Is that where the...
Yeah,
okay.
that will be the grand opening.
And how do you track your steps?
It's good. We're signing up with a company out of Penticton that will set up a computer-based system where people can log on, put their pedometer mileage in. We're also doing it as a wellness. Everybody will be given a passbook, and for those who want to participate can have their blood pressure taken. There's some different stats that we're looking at, and then we'll see how those go along the way, see how healthier you get. So it's quite a big initiative that we're doing, and the doctors and nurses out of the clinic are involved. Northern Health, hopefully the village will support us, and it's exciting. So get ready, get your shoes on. As soon as the snow's gone, we're off.
Yeah, super.
Awesome. I think we should get the ski tours together because we measure in vertical feet how far we go.
Yeah.
We should try and climb something.
Climb Everest.
Yeah. But that might be too easy, actually.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm serious.
Why don't you climb it in May?
No, not actually climb Everest, but do our little 1,000 feet here and 1,000 feet. Great. Well, I'm so happy to have the chance to support that. Are we interested in partnering?
I'll move to partner
Okay.
this
Excellent.
initiative.
Great. All in favor? We're all in favor. Okay, so the third item in the additional is Honors and Awards Secretariat has asked for, they're calling for nominations for the Order of British Columbia. And I think this is really interesting. So we'll have to think long and hard, Council, about who should get a nomination for this thing.
Can't think too long and hard. They need the nominations by March 1st.
Your Worship, can I just add something?
Yeah.
At this point, we felt that it might be best to put this in as an information item only because that would allow everyone to have an opportunity to think of who they would want to nominate. So yes, you're right. After the next council meeting, the deadline is very tight.
Yeah.
So this gives us a little bit of time to think about that,
Okay.
as well as lets the public know that that's out there.
Okay, so this is something that comes from Council. Is it necessary, or can people just, if they have knowledge of this, can they nominate somebody from there?
Person or group.
Okay, thank you. All those words. Okay, so staff is so patient and so kind.
Can you nominate somebody posthumously? Do we know?
I don't know. It doesn't.
Okay, I can check. I just wondered if you know.
It doesn't
Great.
say yes or no here. It doesn't.
Okay, so we're all thinking on it, and we will, if we have anybody, we'll bring them back the next council meeting. Good. Just for information, so Councillor Salt, Councillor Bullock, all in favor. Great. I feel somehow like this list of, like our new focus on Robert's rules have made everything even cooler than it was before. Okay, so we have a list of previous council resolutions. That's just for information for the folks at home. We have a calendar of events of all the exciting things that are going to happen. And that puts us into our public comment period. So I'm going to read out the rules. I hope somebody did. Oh, I see. Mr. Fox is taking off his glasses. We will have a commenter. Questions should be limited to 2 minutes each. Questions should be regarding an item on a current council agenda. You guys all know the rules. Questions should be put forth on topics that are not normally dealt with by village staff as a matter of routine. You should state your name and address, and questions, just to keep everything cool, should be addressed to the chair. That's me. And we're going to try to avoid debates with individual council members or staff members or the mayor, for that matter. So the mayor has to participate in that as well. And then no commitments shall be made by council in replying to a question. And I think that's just good business practice anyways. So there you go. Comments from the public.
Yes, please. Comment, I suppose, goes to
Mr. Fox from 3rd Avenue. 3rd?
95 3rd Avenue in Valemount. Sorry.
Gotcha.
You did. This goes to the chair as well as to the councillors, and just in that it is in the interest of the village to some extent. that fuel prices here are fair and regionally competitive for tourism as well as village expansion and harmony within the village. I'm wondering if the motion that you made to say no action by the village shouldn't be maybe amended to say no action at this time, and that maybe the administration will, I don't know, maybe be watching it. I don't know. My second item here is regarding new Robert's rules that you have in place, and concerning the moving and seconding changes. Is council striving as a consequence for some ambiguity of the individual specialties and or interests of councillors if the record of the movers and seconders of a motion is waived? I find it helpful as a member of the public, and as councillors are approachable for further explanations sometimes later on down the line to try to remember who said what, and if there's no record, you know where I'm going. Also, just for clarification, and this is to the chair, has CBT requested a drilling team visit Valemount to drill alongside the water lines to measure moisture or maybe indicator chloride levels of reactive chlorine at this time? Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot for your report. I'm in the honor of these new rules that we've got. I'm not going to reply to any of those. Check the report online. The water report is fantastic. It's very readable, and they talk about how they detect leaks. Sorry. Okay. Other comments from the public? I see Miss Kyle is really reacting back there. Any comments from Miss Kyle?
No.
Mr. Kenkel?
Not this time.
We're just going to go around the whole room. Ms. Beeson.
To know the Beeson 1100 Cypress Road. I just wanted to say regarding your new rules, because I report on council for the Valley Sentinel, I am required to write who makes the motion, who seconds it. And I already read the agenda previous, and I've already emailed my editor to tell him what you're doing and hopefully ask that I don't have to record that anymore, because it's actually the hardest part of my job, because lots of times 3 people put their hand up and then sometimes nobody repeats who actually seconded the motion, so then Gord gets emails from me like, who did that? So anyways, I just wanted to let you know that I am required to do that, and I have requested to not have to do that, but I also find it helpful when you do at least repeat at the end of the motion who made the second motion. And I also wanted to let you know that we only started doing that probably maybe 8 months ago, and that was by request from the public. That wasn't like our newspaper said that we were going to do that. That was the public coming and saying, we want to know who made the motion and who seconded. So just so you know. Oh, and also the last 3 items, the new business items, how can I get access to those? Will they be online? I know we have.
There's some that are printed there.
Okay. And then there's one more.
Yeah.
Can I get it emailed, or is that?
When are you missing?
Okay, we'll just let the deputy corporate officer speak.
If you don't mind,
But there's no debating.
No, won't. But you and council are free to comment.
I see. Oh.
See, it's not that we can't have a.
It's a comment, not a debate.
Yes.
Proceed.
You can respond to a question. So through the chair, thanks for the feedback on the motion and the seconder. So everyone's aware, this first trial run has not been done in the iCompass software. It's a test done in Word as we usually do to see if the new format works. And then either in 2 weeks or 4 weeks, we'll have that built into iCompass and do a second test then.
Okay.
So to everybody, if you have feedback that comes up later on, just in the next week or 2, let us know. If we continue as planned and don't have the motion or the seconder, One thing that will be recorded is if anyone is in opposition and wishes it noted that they are in opposition, we will record that, which is almost more important because a council decision is a decision of a whole, a resolution, and if there's one or two members in opposition, that will be in the minutes. So that might be more advantageous to your readers. And with respect to the documentation, just email me tonight or tomorrow, and I'll get it to you.
Okay, great. Then I missed a chance to respond. Okay, doesn't matter. No, we definitely, in terms of the ambiguity of something mentioned of interest and the idea of making it sort of a fog, so none of council can be pinned for bringing a specific thing forward. That's definitely not where we want to go. But what we do want to have is fulsome debate, and we don't want people standing, like there's this rules of order where people feel like, I made the motion, I can't speak against this, and that's totally not the case. We try to come up with the best decision we can, and that's sort of the point. So hopefully, what I encourage is that we have fulsome discussion around contentious issues, and then you can record those record those things that have good discussion around them and who said them. That would be a response to that. Other comments from the public? Mr. Schneider.
We want them to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Please.
I think there's going to be something, next time we come back, there's going to be something in the public comments about calling people out by name, and not to do that. So we won't do that anymore, because I want that option if I need to. Okay. So that's fair. So can we accept the public comments? So everybody has said, I can't help you with that, Denalda. Okay, so that also includes an all in favor. And then the next item is notice to proceed in camera, so we'll get a motion to move in camera. This is, we do read this out so you guys have a sense of where we're going with this. We're required to under the community charter. This is section 90.1 of the community charter. It's being held in camera to consider the following item. K, negotiations and related discussion respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are at their preliminary stages and in view of council could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality if they were made public. And is that your wish? Excellent. We'll move in camera. Okay. Thank you all for coming.